It's holy matrimony, love wrapped in grace, honesty the cornerstone, openness embrace, transparency the power to make it through, Christ in the center, making all things new. Welcome to the base camp.
Hey guys, welcome to the Marriage Base Camp podcast. I'm glad you're here, and we're so glad you've joined us today. My name's Shelly, and I'm here with
Robert. So glad you guys have joined us today. Today we're talking about communication. And let me start by saying two opening statements, okay? This to fill you in on where we're going today. Okay. Number one, I don't think couples fall out of love so much as they fall out of communication.
Yeah.
Like they just stop inviting each other in. We talked about that on a previous episode. The second thing is this. Many people, I think, misunderstand communication altogether because they believe that what it means is just talking more often about more topics. Mm. But it actually involves speaking more effectively about the right topics.
True.
So it's being more efficient when you talk about things more than it is just, we want to talk about all the things. And
right.
Yeah, so that's where we're going today. Sure. Healthy communication is kind of a lot like navigating a rugged backcountry trail with a really heavy backpack. It demands toughness, strength, awareness, and a lot of people, they won't be able to make the climb. They won't be able to take the steep trail and because they start to blame the trail or the terrain.
Yeah.
They think, oh, we can't go there because it's hard. It's too steep or it's too rocky
yeah.
or whatever it may be. And yeah, sometimes that's the case, but they never really stop to consider what's in their backpack, like the weight, what that they are carrying and what they have been carrying. Because if your backpack is too heavy or if it's not packed correctly, it will affect your ability to navigate a trail or a conversation in marriage. So Jesus taught us that our words flow from what's stored in our heart. He said that in Matthew chapter 12, verse 34.
The overflow.
Yeah. The overflow of the heart, the mouth will speak. And so basically what's in your heart is going to come out of your words. And so if you want to know what is in a person, listen to what is shared.
Yeah.
They are showing you what is in their backpack, so to speak, whenever they speak to you. And so communication is kind of like the backpack that a hiker will take with them. If they have too heavy of a backpack, or really, I guess what I'm saying is if they have too much stuff in their backpack, that's going to show up, especially in their stride. They're not going to walk correctly. They may even have to lean when they walk, which over miles and miles is going to affect a lot of things. So it's important to have the proper gear. That's why you don't see backpackers wearing like Jansport backpacks, because those are made for books and notebooks and pencils.
Right.
They're not made for hiking gear. And, good backpack will actually distribute the weight of the supplies and it will do the least amount of damage to your body. That's how they're designed. There's like internal structures and
it's crazy.
It pushes weight on parts of your body that can take more weight and relieves it from others. But a bad backpack is also going to be reflected in your posture and it's going to throw your stride off. And so, okay, I know we're going in and out of metaphor here. Backpacks and communication and all that.
Yeah.
But similarly, the condition of our inner world, our heart, shows up in our tone, in our posture, in our reactions, just like bad equipment will show up when you're hiking. If there's bad things in our heart, that's going to show up in our communication with our spouse. So a bad inner condition will be reflected in how we speak to others, particularly. Each other.
I agree. Yeah, one of the worst things you can have in your inner condition is something that most can can have the most impact on your communication, and that's fear, which is huge because when your backpack, when your inner heart is filled with fear, the conversations usually flow through. You're very tense and guarded. And honestly, when you can and are able to deal with the past or trauma, whatever might be in there, you're just filled with more faith and hope and love and patience and all the fruits of the spirits, honestly. And when that happens, then your words and your communication feel lighter, steadier, and honestly just more life giving.
Yeah.
You're not sucking the life out of the other person.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think people realize how heavy fear is.
Yeah.
The weight of fear.
Yes.
Because it doesn't seem like something that would be heavy because you're thinking it's mental, right?
Right.
Well, it is, and it's heavy.
And it takes a long time to figure out, oh, that's actually all fear. So, yeah.
So what you pack in your backpack is very important, but also how you pack your backpack is equally important. So if you have all this gear, how you pack it is important because you don't just, stuff it with the heavy stuff on top, because when you're carrying it, that puts too much pressure on your lower back. The weight distribution is all off. And so there's actually a preferred way to distribute the weight when you're carrying a lot of gear like that. And all that to say, like you said about fear, don't let fear be the biggest, heaviest thing that you carry in your backpack, in your heart.
Yeah.
Don't let that be the case, because fear, it's not only heavy, it's big. It takes up all the room in your backpack or your heart, depending on which metaphor you're in.
Yeah.
So that means that you have to start stuffing your real emotions into those harder reach compartments in your backpack. So they're not in the quick grab it and get it part. They're like stuck way down in the bottom in a corner somewhere. But that's the real you.
Right.
You just made the real you harder to access. And so anyway, the only way to access is to drag everything out like a yard sale and to pack it correctly.
Yeah. View it correctly.
Distribute it correctly.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, like you said, we're talking a lot of metaphors here, but here's how this actually plays out. Maybe you pretend that you're fine, like you said. You minimize hurtful things or words or things people might say, and you just strap on this little happy face just to really avoid vulnerability and of truly being known. And maybe for you, you've just never learned how to translate your internal world, your thoughts, desires, emotions into language that you and others can actually understand. Your backpack, your inner reality, your heart has never been actually given a name or let alone validated. And so you create this socially acceptable outer shell that hides your true self. And we actually talked about that in episode 2. Are you revealing the true you to your spouse? Because when you don't, it really does stem from fear.
Yeah, we're trying to tell you guys, fear is real.
And it's exhausting.
And it's exhausting, and it's big, and it's bulky, and it's heavy. It's also, to stay in our metaphor, it's also the broken compass that throws off communication. So if you've ever tried to use a broken compass, first off, using a compass is not as easy as you think it is. Like, it takes some math to use those things. Anyway, I'm not talking about the one on your watch or whatever, but like, if you've ever tried to use a broken compass, you may be trying to find which direction is north. But if you have a broken compass, it's not going to go well for you, because every direction it gives you is going to be wrong, because you started from a wrong place. And so if you're trying to find, if you're trying to communicate with your spouse when fear is playing the lead role, it's not going to go well, because everything that you will communicate will be off.
Yes.
Because they're starting from a bad place. And
very guarded, like we said.
Yeah. So when you don't have the courage or the clarity even to face what's really happening inside ourselves, our communication becomes unreliable. It's like that broken compass. It may look like it's pointing north, but it's not. And it's going to mess everything up. And so in the same way, fear, it twists our words, it hides our needs, it sends out mixed messages that leave both people confused and off course. And so
Yeah.
I think it's important to ask yourself ask ourselves two crucial questions. Okay. And the first one is this: if you don't pay attention to what's in your own backpack, how can you appreciate what someone else is carrying in theirs?
Yeah.
Let me answer the question for you. You can't.
You can't. Yeah.
You can't do it. Here's the other question: if you don't know how to navigate the terrain of your own heart, how are you going to navigate your spouse's? Let's answer it. You won't. Yeah. It's
You're not gonna-
impossible.
yeah. No.
So the best way to understand your spouse, listen, the best way to understand your spouse is to first understand yourself.
Yep. And I think you mentioned this, but self-awareness is the trailhead to relational awareness. It's very difficult to start, like you said, in the middle of a trail. Starting at the trailhead gives you a place of origin, kind of like base camp.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't start with self-awareness, it's very difficult to find out where you are, because honest communication with yourself is the foundation for honest communication with others, which is not easy, but very important. People who grow in this become emotionally strong. They're just emotionally healthy people, capable hikers who carry their own load with wisdom instead of denial or fear. Without that strength, communication becomes a loop of misunderstandings and exhaustion. It's kind of like circling the same switchback endlessly without ever making progress, which is exhausting.
Yeah. And we know none of you have ever ran
Yeah.
across that in your relationship.
Haven't we been here before?
Didn't we just
Just-
argue about this? Are we
Right.
talking about this again?
Yeah.
All the things
Yep.
over and over again. So we want to cover, we're kind of just now getting into what we want to cover. We want to cover 3 different communication styles. These are 3 different fear-based.
It's important.
So
Fear-based.
there's a lot of communication styles.
Yeah.
Not very many of them are great. Most of them are bad, and some of them are fear-based. We want to cover 3 of those that are fear-based. And maybe you see yourself in one of these. Maybe you see yourself in more than one of these. These would be trail hazards.
Okay.
So if you're on the trail, these are hazards. I've been on hikes where right after you leave the trailhead, there's a sign or a sandwich board, something there that's like, hey, be aware of bear activity. Bears have been spotted, which is always wonderful to see, because you're like, great, not only am I going to have to suffer oxygen and make my muscles work, now I got to worry about something eating me, because it's totally going to catch me. I'm not going to outrun it. So
Right.
anyway, so these are trail hazards. Okay.
Okay.
So these are communication styles, and each one is tied to fear, and they're tied to a false core belief about themselves.
I think this would actually be very helpful.
I hope so.
Yeah.
So think of them as 3 different hikers. They set off from the trailhead. They're going on a hike. So these are like 3 different personalities, if you will. The first one is called the people pleaser. This style is known as passive communication. So if you are a passive communicator, your false core belief sounds something like this: your opinion matters and mine doesn't. So
Yep.
kind of the lie that you tell yourself, the lie that you live by is that other people, so let's just talk about our spouses, your opinion matters, mine doesn't, or it doesn't as much, for sure. I'm not saying it doesn't matter at all, but your opinion matters more than mine.
Correct.
This type of communication places itself in the back. This is passive communicators. They like to slip to the back of the group. They like to
Yeah.
sit in the back of the room. They put themselves last. They're the hiker, if you will, who has the blisters on their feet, but they're not going to tell anybody because they don't want to slow the whole group down.
Yeah.
I can't tell them to stop and I'll look weak, and they're having fun, and so I'm just going to let them keep going. And meanwhile, they're suffering
Right.
the whole time. Okay, so let's put this style into the context of marriage.
Okay.
this person doesn't speak up when something hurts.
Yeah.
They don't speak up about what they actually need, or they don't speak up about when they're struggling. This type of communicator always says things like this: no, I'm good, or whatever you want, or
Mhm.
no, it's fine, even when it's not fine.
That's the thing. It's not, and then they just stuff it down.
Yeah. Which, anyway,
That's
yeah.
another thing. But
So they believe that their needs are either too heavy or they're too inconvenient for the
Yeah.
other person. So they pretend that they don't have any needs at all.
correct.
What's sad, as if that wasn't sad already, what's even more sad is that this often, the communicator, that the passive communicator thinks that what they're doing is being selfless, that they're being submissive, that they're being humble. They're taking one for the team, right? Like, oh, I'm, no, you do you, and I'll just stand back here.
Right.
They think it's passing off as humility, when really it's humiliation is what's going on. They're the ones being humiliated. So it's actually fear disguised as peacekeeping.
Yeah.
Their hidden and silent burdens, they get heavier and heavier over time.
Yep.
Eventually it builds into a silent resentment that outweighs the fear. At some point, that resentment will grow.
Yep.
And it will get so big that it even outweighs that fear. And instead of communicating transparently, they often just bail on the relationship entirely, because they think that's the only way their needs are ever going to count or be met in the first place. And so how this plays out in marriages all the time is you have one spouse, let's say the wife, for example, will spend year after year after year just giving until she can't give anymore. She's spent. And rather than saying, you know what, I'm tired of giving, can we try something new? Can we try a new pattern of living?
Right.
She just bails.
Yes.
She hits the eject button. She rage quits, and
Yeah.
she is gone. And the husband's standing there oblivious, wondering, what's wrong? I didn't know anything was wrong.
I thought it was all great.
Yeah, and sometimes he's telling the truth because he's just
Yeah.
that unaware. And sometimes he's lying because he really knew a problem. He just didn't want to deal with it. But so all that to say, you do not want to be a passive communicator.
No. The second one would be the bully. This is known as the aggressive communicator. When you are aggressive in your communication, your false core belief sounds something like this: my opinion matters and yours does not. If we think about our three hikers, the aggressive communicator barrels ahead like someone charging up a narrow trail, many times honestly forcing others to step aside, and just this get out of my way mentality. And just often they're very dominating. They use volume, they get really loud, they get big, they intensify, they get aggressive, a lot of manipulation. It's all really by control. You may have heard something like this: I let you make the decision last time and it was a disaster. This is why I should always make the decisions. That's pretty, if you've heard that before, yeah.
Red flag.
Red flag. Strangely enough, the aggressive communicator often ends up married to the passive partner, like an aggressive great white shark marrying a wounded sea lion. The reason these two typically will meet and end up marrying each other is because they actually subconsciously agree on one thing: the aggressive person's needs are the only ones that really worth considering.
That's big. You need to say that again.
The aggressive person's needs are the only ones worth considering, because you really not, especially the person who is the one that you're talking about,
The passive.
like they don't even realize what they're doing. It's unconscious that they're like, you're the only one that matters anyway. So
yeah, they're actually agreeing with the false core beliefs that they have, even though those false core beliefs are different.
Which I think that's why for so long it's fine. The marriage looks fine.
Oh yeah, it looks great
because they actually believe
yeah
the same thing. But as you can imagine, this trail dynamic destroys, honestly, true intimacy. One spouse carries the weight of the relationship, and the other just allows it. And allows them
Lets
to.
them do it.
Lets them do it.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
And then like you said, one day you wake up and they're gone.
Yeah,
It's like,
because it's
what?
very comfortable to
happened?
start living in that rut.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of what we do until
It is.
until one day, she's going to wake up, guys. She's going to wake up and be like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Or he will. I mean, it's typically her.
Yeah, it could go either way.
It could go either way, but typically. Yeah.
We've seen it a lot with the female.
And we did this too. Like this was early on in our marriage, I think, dynamically.
Yeah. And there's no, you don't know what you don't know.
Correct.
That's the part. It's like no one sets out to do this.
No.
I hope not. But it happens.
Yeah.
So the third type of communicator is actually a combination of the first two. So we talked about the passive, then we talked about the aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll give you a hint as to what the third type is. We like to call them the trapper or the trap setter. This is also known as the passive aggressive communicator, passive aggressive communication style. And here's the thing about it. It is a combination of the first two, and the first two are negative.
True.
You don't want to be passive. You don't want to be aggressive. This one also is negative. It's not multiplication. It's not like negative times a negative equals a positive kind of thing.
Right.
No. It's just more negative.
Yeah.
Worse negative.
Worse negative. There you go.
If that's a thing.
Okay.
When you are a passive aggressive communicator, your false core belief that you tell yourself and that you believe sounds something like this. You matter to me until you hurt me. You see where this is going.
Yikes.
Like this, honestly, I think it's the trickiest trail hazard to navigate in communication when you have someone who is a passive aggressive communicator, because they look cheerful.
That's scary.
They look cooperative.
Yeah.
They're easygoing on the surface, but behind that pleasant exterior is a strategy of just subtle retaliation, little sarcastic jabs, guilt trips, spiritual manipulation, mixed messages.
It's very confusing.
Stonewalling, gaslighting, honestly, just quiet punishment.
Those are all terrible.
Horrible.
They're not. It's
To use our group of hikers. This is the hiker in the group who around campfire laughs at your jokes and thinks your outfit looks good or whatever, but yet then they sabotage your backpack straps so that you're carrying more weight on your right side, or they open the pouch and so you lose your chapstick or something. They're just like on the surface.
It's a quiet evil. Almost.
It's a quiet evil. That's a good way to put it.
Really
Yeah.
is.
And here's what it's like being in a relationship with this type of person. This is why it's so dangerous to be in a relationship with them, because other people, like people on the outside of your marriage, rarely ever see the sabotage that is occurring inside your marriage. Because like I said, let's make it the man. Let's make it the husband. Other people look at the husband and they're like, man, he's such a cool guy. He's so polite. He's so kind. He's the life of the party. He makes other people feel so welcome and appreciated. I mean, he must be amazing. He must be amazing to be married to, right?
You're so lucky.
You're so lucky. They do not see what's going on indoors, which is all the what'd you say? The quiet evil.
Yeah.
They do not see that or hear that at all. And so, if you are the person who is closest to this type of communicator, you absolutely feel the full weight and the effects and the confusion and all the emotional whiplash and certainly the relational erosion that can take place. So,
yeah, we've told you we're going to cover 3 different types. And we did, and those were all fear-based communications, like we said.
yeah, don't be those.
Yeah, don't be those. And if you recognize in yourself or your spouse that is happening, man, reach out. You need to unpack your backpack.
Well, if you
and we
recognize
do some
that,
stuff.
congratulations, first
Yes,
off.
that is huge.
That's huge.
That's actually
step
huge.
one.
But there's a fourth option. This one's not based on fear. The trail mate. This is known as the healthy communication. When you have a healthy communicator, your core belief sounds something like this: your opinion matters, and so does mine, which is huge. This type of hiker moves through relational terrain like an expert backpacker. They're just more steady, honest, unaware. Not unaware, aware.
Aware.
Aware. Um, yeah, they can name what's going on, their feelings, their needs clearly. They're respectful about it. They honor the other person's inner world and they honor their own. They refuse to disappear, to dominate, manipulate, and they keep the emotional trail safe for both hikers, for themselves and their spouse.
Yeah.
Which is big.
If passive aggressive communication is quiet evil, then healthy communication is a vocal assertiveness.
Healthy.
Yeah. It's assertiveness out loud. And these are the people who they're not looking to others to carry their own backpacks for them. They carry their own emotional weight. They know what's in their backpack.
And they deal with it.
They deal with it.
Yeah.
They deal with their junk, right? And so they're not only secure with what they are carrying, they help the other person shoulder some of the weight too. So listen, they don't carry your backpack for you.
Mm-hmm.
You still got to carry your own backpack.
Absolutely.
But they might help distribute the weight.
True.
So if we're talking about a couple, one of them doesn't need to carry the tent and the bare canister of food and all the water and everything. And then the other one just has like a fanny pack with some, gummies in there for energy. Like, no, you distribute it. Like, hey, you carry the tent. I'll carry the food. We'll split the water up. Yeah, you communicate that. That way you're carrying equal loads and not one of you. It's just like a pack mule dying out there.
Right.
Yeah. So like this healthy communicator, they refuse to trek uneven ground at the expense of someone else's safety.
Yeah.
The idea behind it is if you can't come, then we aren't going.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna drag you along somewhere that's unsafe for you or somewhere that you don't have the ability or skills to go. So if you aren't going, then we aren't going. So in marriage, these people set boundaries that protect both partners and the relationship's health. They ensure both people stay present, truthful, engaged. The first three communication styles that we said, those are honestly easy. You don't have to really try very hard.
You don't really,
Like
it's very selfish.
In fact, just do nothing, and I promise you'll land in one of those three.
Absolutely.
They take no skill to be any of those. That's why most people who are in those, a lot of people stay there. That fourth style, the healthy communication, that's where the skill comes in. That's being a skilled hiker, because you're not only looking out for your health, and you don't only know how to get yourself back on the trail when you get off, you're looking out for the other's health, and you know how to get them back on trail whenever they get off.
Absolutely.
So when your passive spouse slips into that passive behavior and starts saying things like, oh, it doesn't matter where we go, whatever everyone else thinks, I'm fine with. It's a good idea as long as everyone else. Like, you as the assertive communicator can be like, hey, no, I'd like to know what you think about that. So you're helping them get back on the trail out of their passiveness. If your spouse is one of the aggressive ones, and when they become aggressive and they start saying things like, well, I'm the only one who cares about this trip anyway, the assertive communicator hopefully can help them get back on the trail and respond with something like, hey, like, I know you didn't mean to be hurtful just then, but comments like that make me feel like you don't appreciate the things that I have done to
Yeah.
prepare this trip or whatever the scenario
You're
is.
very blinded.
Yeah. And notice they called it out
Right. Respectfully, too.
respectfully. And they filled that gap with trust and said,
Right.
hey, surely, like, you just jabbing my heart like that, that's not something you normally do. So
Right. Especially as you're growing. You're like, wait a minute, that's not,
it's uncharacteristic.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe you are married to the passive aggressive spouse, and they may say something like, well, I guess I'll carry the heavier pack because I usually end up carrying all the load anyway around here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, ha ha ha! Isn't that funny? You know, they're trying to be funny and sarcastic, and meanwhile, they just chopped your head off emotionally by what they said. And so the assertive communicator on the other side of that might say, you know, I'd love to revisit this whenever when you're ready to be honest with yourself and me.
Yeah. Yeah.
They kind of just don't even engage in the craziness that they're talking
Right.
about. And so, what has happened in each one of those scenarios that I just said is the assertive communicator has placed up boundaries.
Yes.
Around themselves, around their relationship, and boundaries on the trail literally keep people from falling off a cliff.
Yeah.
Boundaries in a marriage, similarly, they keep the relationship clear, safe, shared. You know where you're going. You know where the line is, that if you cross this line, somebody's going to meet Jesus. You know, just like if you go off that cliff.
Yeah. Yeah. And just, where does this path lead? Honestly, when two people show up, each carrying their own pack with honesty and respect, the relationship stays steady, even when the terrain gets tough, because it will.
Yeah, I would say win the terrain.
Win.
Yeah, for sure.
Win. And communication becomes easier. Connection grows deeper. Misunderstandings, honestly, happen less frequently. But know this path, like you said, is not for the timid. It takes courage to hike this particular path and to deal with the difficult things, the heart issues, the trauma, the past, whatever it is. It takes a lot to show up and to do that and to be honest. But for those willing to grow, communication becomes a shared journey, one that strengthens you both, you know, just for every mile. And as the years go on, you're both, iron sharpening iron.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
It is possible.
It is, but
growth is possible.
It's painful and it takes courage.
Well, yeah. I mean,
it's not easy.
Growing pains, right?
Right.
Like, I used to get those all the time. I got them a lot in my legs.
Yeah. I did too, but I'm still short.
You sure those are growing pains?
I don't know, maybe not. There was something else.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. That was mean. That was mean that I just said that. No, I forgot what I was trying to say. Okay. Well, you guys know which one the passive aggressive communicator is. No, I'm saying, like, growth is a healthy thing, and growth hurts.
Yes.
Like you stretching those bones, like
Yeah.
they hurt. But it's, I mean, it's something that doesn't grow is not.
But anything is painful. Anything that you want, the gym, eating healthy, everything hurts a little bit. Like, man, I really want that, but I need to choose this.
So each episode, we want to give you guys a summit challenge, a way that you can experience those growth pains and grow. And so, like she said, it's going to be painful. Some of it's going to hurt, but we want you to unpack your packs together. Okay. And so not literal backpacks, your emotional backpacks. Mm-hmm. And so we've decided that a good way for you guys to do this is to sit down and answer these 3 questions. You can take turns, however you want to do it. But here's the first thing that you should say to your spouse. Hey, here is a weight that I'm carrying right now that you might not be aware of. Now, This could be anything. It could be finance related, kid related,
Yeah.
family related, your future, like, hey, I don't know that you know that this is bothering me right now the way it's
Right.
bothering me right now. That's really important stuff to get out there. Second question is actually you asking a question to your spouse. And that is, which one of these communication patterns do I slip into most often? That would be passive aggressive or passive aggressive, or healthy. Honestly, if that's one too. So, which one of these do I tend to slip into without even thinking? And what would it look like for me to move from being a trail hazard to being a trail mate? What might that look like?
That might take some time to answer too. Like I wouldn't take these questions and be like, all right, we're gonna have 15 minutes. Like take some time, and they might take a short amount of time, but.
And here's the thing, like when you ask your spouse that and they tell you, trust them.
And don't freak out.
Don't freak out. Trust them. Listen, this is the person that you married. This is the person that probably shares your last name. This is the person that probably sleeps in the same bed with you. I promise you, they are for you. And for the few number of people out there that are not, go get some therapy, and talk to a friend. But I'm just talking about in general. Like you're talking about your spouse.
Right.
This person could have spent their life with anybody in the world, and they chose to spend it with you.
Yeah.
So when they tell you something, trust them.
Yeah, because I would want you to tell me, hey, you have a booger in your nose. Like that's kind of mean just to let it go.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey.
And you know what else is mean? After you tell me I have a booger in my nose, to just be like, okay. I'm not going to do anything about it.
Yeah.
And make you stare at my boogie forever. Like that's mean too.
It is mean. Yeah.
So when your spouse tells you something, trust them. And And then the third question is, or third thing to say is, tell your spouse, here's one thing that I need from you that I don't think I've been super clear about.
Yeah.
Maybe you've been dropping little hints here and there and they just have not picked up on it at all. So be as clear as possible. Here is something I am needing from you that I don't think I've been clear on. And so, do we have time for a trail story?
Sure.
Like who's going to stop us, right?
There's nobody.
I guess you guys could just hit pause, but anyway.
Stop.
So, well, of course you remember. So I don't remember when it was in our relationship, but there was one point in our relationship where I just happened to notice that every time I would come up and like put my arm on Shelly's shoulder or touch her or something like that, she would sigh a little bit, not like, oh, there's this guy again, but just kind of like, and you would say something about how tired you were.
Yes.
And I did, it's just kind of one of those weird things that I just noticed over a period of a couple of weeks.
I think it was months, but yes.
Probably months. And I remember sitting you down one time. I was like, hey, I don't even think you realize you're doing this, but every time I touch you, you tell me how tired you are.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just confused. I'm like, that's weird. And what did you say?
That typically the only time you were touching me is when you wanted something.
A little something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here I was thinking, hey, I'm about to share with Shelly something she's not even doing. And
not even aware.
That way she can repair what she's doing wrong, because this is really starting to affect my feelings and hurt my feelings. And instantly you kind of turned it back on me, and I would say in a healthy way.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't think you realize you have been doing this. And you were like, I don't think you realize every time you touch me, you want to have sex.
Yeah.
And it was like the light came on And
It's
I was like,
oh.
what? Is that true? You know, at first you're like, no, it's not true. And then you stop thinking about it. You're like, well, I mean, that's pretty true. That's kind of true. And so all that to say, like, I trusted you in that moment. You trusted me in that moment.
Because it was true. Once you said that, I was like, yeah, I'm totally doing that.
I don't know why I wanted to share that story other than I want you guys to trust one another when they share something with you. But also just as a tip, some encouragement is, and I'll speak to the guys because I am a guy. Guys, if the only time you are touching your wife is when you are looking for something in return, over time, she will feel used. She will begin to feel, this is a hard word, but if you're only touching her when you want to have sex, over time, she will begin to feel like a prostitute.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to be sure that you are touching her without the expectation of sex often. So
Yes.
rub her neck, touch her shoulder, touch her butt, whatever it is, but without the expectation of, hey, we going in the other room right now, you know.
Right.
And I don't know. That was a really big moment for us, I guess. For me.
Yeah.
That I think we both were unaware that we were doing something.
Both doing. Yeah,
So.
that's true. Yeah. Well, don't forget, you guys can send in questions. We'll try to answer them here on the podcast. You can actually email any questions you might have to podcast@marriagebasecamp.com. And until next time, just remember, this is an adventure, guys. Marriage is an adventure, and we get to explore together.
That's right. Thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast. Hey, do us a favor. If you think there is another couple in your life who would benefit from this, just share the link. And man, we'd love to hear about any stories that you guys are having through talking these questions with one another.
Yeah.
But that's all we have for today. Until next time, we will see you on the trail.
Welcome to the Base Channel. From Genesis to Revelation, His love is the guide. Every vow, every moment, we lay down our pride. His mercy's the melody, our heart's the refrain. Through sunshine and shadow, our love will remain. This holy matrimony, love wrapped in grace. Honesty the cornerstone, openness embrace. Transparency's the power to make it through. Christ in the center, making all things new.